During your presentation in the final phase, you said about Rana Plaza, that tragedy, which of course was infamous and it had a screechy global headlines, for years to come. How exactly post Rana Plaza, the ecosystem of Bangladesh has changed, one. Second is important landmark, which is, I think, remeditation status of accord. How exactly it is grounded within the system, to ensure that those kind of tragedies, they don't reoccur. Thank you.
Thank you for your query. I think regarding the post-Rana Plaza issues, in fact, our center actually regularly monitored the post-Rana Plaza developments, and so far we have published lots of documents which are available in the website if you'd like to. But the major change that is happening in case of Bangladesh's overall attitude towards addressing the issues related to the labor rights and worker safety related issues, and that has actually changed across the board from the government level to the entrepreneurial level and in between the association level as well. Everybody realized that the way they are actually practicing earlier, the business practice was not fully correct, and they need to have some changes required. But they are not fully sure that what kinds of changes required, that they were not sure. And that has happening when the private-led initiatives like ICAHT and Alliance come forward to provide that support, that they have actually come with an international standards, using the local standards, and along with that they have put into the international standards where local laws are inadequate, thereby set a common standards in terms of safety security issues and building structure issues, and based on that they have actually inspected the factories. And so far my knowledge is that around 2,300 factories have been inspected, and in terms of their knowledge, about 75% of the total problems have already been addressed by the factories, and another 25% factories problems need to be actually addressed in the coming days. Particularly those are related to the building structure, where it is rather difficult to do those kinds of works, and rather need more investments. So that kinds of things are going on, and everybody appreciate the works that has been going on. But the problem, and that we are actually trying to see, is that these kinds of one-shot of initiatives need to be institutionalized, because they will go maybe by 2018, Alliance will go, by 2021, Accord will go. But what we are actually trying to push to set up an public sector institutional setup under the Ministry of Labor, which is also started by Remediation Coordination Cell called RCC. Under that, they will in the future take away the good practices that have been followed by Accord and Alliance, and thereby they will actually try to monitor in the future the remediation related activities in the ready-made garments.
Post-quota regime, that is post-2005, can you list out 3 regions Bangladesh is still competitive to India?
Bangladesh still?
It is still competitive, more competitive to India.
I think in post 2005, one of the major competitive still prevail is that Bangladesh is still enjoying the duty-free market access in the European market, where India has still providing the MFN rates, where that tariff margin is still in favor of Bangladesh. That is one. Second one is that still wage rate and availability of workers in that context still Bangladesh is being competitive. And the third one is that volume-led activity still Bangladesh is advantageous over India, because million pieces works can be done by even one factory, can take orders. So volume-led activities still Bangladesh has an advantage over India. But definitely there are other issues be there.
That is huge capacity you are creating.
Yes.
Yeah, you wanted to ask a question?
Yeah, this question is for actually Ranjeev.
Oh, to me?
Yeah.
All right.
I thought I'll get you involved. The question is, and I think Penki to a certain extent, but you talked, India is complicated, that's what you said, right? And I don't know about your office, but definitely India is complicated as a country. If you were to, and since you are more on the buying side, not on the manufacturing side, what are the couple of things you would probably recommend that garment manufacturers who you work with or who are in India should do, which would have a significant impact?
Oh, that's a
on
very
the
simple
business?
answer, actually.
And
If you recollect my presentation last year, I had created a dashboard for the Indian manufacturing industry. That dashboard had nearly 21 attributes we needed to benchmark ourselves. And if you talk about from productivity to efficiencies to pre-production activities to building in teams to training in teams to leadership, that dashboard nearly covered everything because there was a goal and a benchmarking standards. If you measure yourselves, irrespective of the department you are in, you will find there is a visible improvement. And if it's not an improvement, then there is something wrong with the strategic plan which is made for it. That is one. Secondly, I heard on leadership. If you all see very carefully, leadership is a verb. And a verb is a doing word, which means it is a process. There is no magic wand to it. So, as the process for leadership goes, and each one of you are leaders, please do not think that the CEO is a leader. This is a very wrong connotation from there. I'm from Hindustan Levers and Shaw Wallace and president of the Murugappa Group. Leaders are you yourselves and your middle management also. Do you make them leaders? Do you recognize them as leaders? Do you empower them as leaders? That is the change and the shift we need to bring down. A manager's job is to get things done. If the manager starts doing everything on his table, you will find his team is going to be ineffective. And you would experience it. So one of the changes you need to make into your mindset is that how do you get things done through a monitored system? It is not that you delegate and abdicate. There is a process of monitoring it. But if you really look into the dashboard for the apparel industry, you will find all your answers, I would say most of your answers there, because the dashboard keeps on changing as the market environment changes. But there is one thing coming across globally. Today, we are not competing only with Bangladesh. We are competing globally. The prices, whether you are competing against a preferential market or a dutiable product, is irrelevant to the client sitting across the table. All he sees is numbers when they are allocating orders to a factory or to a country. One secret is that how do you increase your gross margins without increasing the prices to the customer? The second is that how many of you actually have the minimum wages for the next 3 years? Assuming that your product market and your product mix is the same, have you seen your financial measurements for the next 3 years? And this is basically to all the team leaders. And if you do not make that judgment today, you will make it when you're in the thick and thin of the soup. It is very important that while we talk about productivity and efficiencies, we need to start relating your monthly reviews in your factories to some financial benchmarks. Because productivity is also related to a financial benchmark at the end of the day. Whether you do SAM per minute, you do cost per minute, you do efficiencies, does not matter. How many see ये budget है? But I always see expense का budget है. इसका bottom line का profit and loss का budget किधर है? वो कहाँ है? वो सब 6 महीने के बाद देखेंगे. It's too late. Your costing exercise will change the moment you know that your bottom line is not met. We all are in for the bottom line, no matter what we do. So please review the dashboard. If there's any question to the dashboard which you're unclear on, I am always there to help you. Give me a call, and on a one-to-one basis, I will help you out with you and discuss with you. You may come with some better ideas. Somebody said ownership. I think I was speaking to Mr. Kapoor few days ago, and one of my dictum was, if you give directives to your team, it is not going to happen. If you involve your team in giving ideas and let them own the ideas, you will see a sea of change in your organizations. It may be your own idea. You want to take it out from them. But that is your execution, how you do it. But let them own the process, and you will get it. So please go back to the dashboard. Have a look into it for the apparel industry. That is specifically for the apparel industry. I think I saw you having a photograph of the dashboard with you. And I was very surprised to see somebody on his phone and say, here is the dashboard, a shot of yours, and this is what I'm trying to do. I was really impressed, and that is the young generation. And that is you. And I remember you asked me some question last year also. So it is very nice that you're coming with this open mind and open to learn. Please follow the dashboard and you'll find. Is competition going to diminish? The answer is no. Is the competition going to increase? Believe me, today, at this given point of time, it is far beyond your expectations. Clients are wanting the same prices what you have sold your garments this year, next year also. They have they have got internal targets called the IMU savings. When I meet the buyers, they talk internally, hamari saving kitni hui hai. It's simple. They never used to talk this language before. This is a normal lift conversation. Have you increased his IMU? You've increased your gross margin. Keep a margin on his IMU. Are you easy to deal with? Are you difficult to deal with? Sir.
Is this on? Hello. So I have a comment for you. I must say that 50 billion is a very ambitious target, and I'm very confident that Bangladesh will be able to meet it also, because there is so much support given to it by the government, and the kind of knowledge that you are carrying about your whole country, which you are imparting to them, just like Mr. Ranjiv Kapoor has knowledge on our subject. You have a knowledge on the, is this on?
Yes, it's.
You have knowledge on the whole country, sir. And you've analyzed from day one that, and you've given explanation and reasons that why the garment industry. Because you get a lot of support from your country. And I think, personally, I'm not speaking for the trade or industry, you can go back with a comfort level, comfort mind, that there is no competition for you from India. because our government is not friendly. They don't understand us. And our leadership, our councils, this I can be quoted on, are not strong enough to fight this government. They have a minister, we have a very dynamic minister in textile, Smriti, who was a textile minister. They're able to take her to the commerce minister desk, and she says that our council members are feeling pride that they were taken to the commerce minister's desk, and she says, here they are, please understand what their problems are. Sorry. Please solve their problems, they are my people. I'm textile minister. And these fellows were taking pride, hum udhar gaya, tum laye kya? What did you bring? You didn't carry forward anything. And I have been fighting with these people, my leaders of the council. Do this, do this, do this, do this. Or if we are waiting, let's see incentive, let's see this, you know. So, and moreover, all these policies of GST and all that has not made the exporter's life easy. It has complicated it. You know, and 1 minute, sir, just 1 minute. It has complicated our life. And we have been all the time thinking, let's divert our attention to the buyers, to the product, to new developments. We are all the time bogged down in solving the damn problems. Today one inspector is there, tomorrow this thing here. No, GST has come on top of that. So, sir, you relax. Go comfortably. We are not your competition. Till my government changes its mind, and if I get, if I'm able to get to a position where I can explain this to the ministers, I will do it with same emphasis, That's all I wanted to say.
You're very right, Mr. Kapoor. I think it's a very valid point he said. Actually, I had it on my list. One thing I took away from his presentation was that the national budget is influenced and persuasive, a national budget which is yearly. We are talking about some amendments in the Apparel Promotion Council, which has been lying pending for 15 years. They are doing on a year by year, and we are talking about 15 years. वाला ठीक हो गया, आज आप फिर मांग रहे हो, क्यों मांग रहे हो? तो पीछे वाले नहीं खत्म हुआ. So that's a very valid point, and this is one of the major things Bangladesh has, because when we were sitting 10 years ago and we were saying, oh, Bangladesh is, we are talking about $7 billion. 5 years later, we thought they are $10 billion ahead of us. And we are still working on कि हमारा overtime का law change हो सकता है compliance के लिए कि नहीं. हम वहीं पे अभी. So this is a very good point you have said, so, and that is what it is. Thank you so much all the speakers for coming in.